Alright, Lanza, so yesterday we got the big reveal of the end of year banner being a Spirits of Air With You banner featuring 3 Beyond Bankai captains. And remember, Beyond Bankai as a term is fan-made. But we do have 3 new original forms for Toshiro, Sajin, and also Kaname. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down their gameplay, letting you lads know some of the skills these characters have before they do officially get revealed in less than 12 hours time. At banner reset later today, we are going to get news of the banner itself, who's going to be fillers, and that's definitely going to be a make or break for a lot of people. And at the same time, we're going to get the full reveal on how potentially broken these 3 new characters will actually be. And given that they're the end of year banner and also Spirits are there with you, it's very likely these characters are going to be quite cracked. And we can already see how potentially cracked they will be in the gameplay, so let's talk about it. So firstly, starting off with Toshiro, I really like the idea they went with this character. Remember, when it comes to Beyond Bankai, for the most part, Caleb essentially fused the character with their Zanpakuto. And I think Toshiro's a clear example of that. What I really like is the color that we have going for him. Toshiro being an ice-based character, he's obviously going to have a lot of blue in his overall design. The ice itself is obviously a lightish blue, and then that in combination with the red petals that he has behind him, the new Bankai upgraded petals, look really cool together and definitely complement each other quite well. Looking into the design though, again, what we can see is that Toshiro has basically become Aaroniero, and we can see that with the ice, as in this case he has a new set of wings that have a really cool and sleek design. He has horns growing out of his head, and at the same time he also has some design choices resembling Aaroniero the Zanpakuto spirit. Most notably the 2 adornments that he does have on his chest. In Aaroniera's case, he has it in the exact same position, but his connects differently by going in front of him, whereas in Toshiro's design it wraps around his head. At the same time, his chestal area, we can see that he has a very similar armor piece to Aaroniero, and overall it gives Toshiro this really cool vibe that I'm just completely digging with. The only complaint I have for this character's design is that he isn't in his adult form, and truth be told, there was never really a reason for that. I always just wanted it to be the case because I thought it would have just looked better, and I still stand by it. If we had this character in the exact same design but he was in his adult form, that would be significantly more hype, but that would mostly just be the cherry on top of the cake. In this case, the Toshiro that we did get is the cake. But looking at Toshiro's gameplay, let's talk about it. So first what we have is this soul bomb. I really like the choice they went with this soul bomb. For starters, it starts off with Toshiro in the sky, and out of nowhere he summons these flowers that are about to bloom. What I really like about this is that it references his old heart TLA form, and we get a very similar shot, but the way they do it here makes it look a lot better. And I would say that's mainly due to the glow behind him. It makes him look a lot elegant here, really emphasizes the character's entire silhouette for the most part. That looks really cool again in my opinion, especially with the colors. But then we get a close-up shot of Toshiro basically charging up his Zanpakuto, almost like his fingertips are freezing the Zanpakuto. I'm not really sure what this red is supposed to be. Is it some type of freeze attack? I'm not really sure. I'm curious to know. But then we get this really cool shot of Toshiro aiming his sword right at us, and it's definitely going to be a thumbnail for a future video. This poster is absolutely sick. And with that, all the flowers that were on the floor, and there was way more than we originally thought, burst and just do, I guess, a massive amount of damage, right? Into the gameplay though, it does appear that Toshiro is going to be a technique character, does not have a rank killer, and he does come with a gauge effect. He is going to be an SP based character that's going to prioritize doing damage on their strong attacks, and since he is a character with the gauge effect, we can assume that the data mine skill that we originally thought was going to be for Yachi Unohana is surprisingly for this Toshiro. We still don't fully know what the gauge is going to do when he fully completes it, but just again from the data mined information, it's very likely that when he does fully complete the gauge, he's potentially going to heal back up to full stamina. It's currently unknown how this character can heal, probably built into him, and again we'll find out in potentially less than 12 hours time. And shout out to Zan for a lot of this information regarding the character's skills. He did all the dirty work trying to figure out what character might have what, so big ups to him. But essentially according to Zan, it does appear that Toshiro has a very high devastation value since his damage on the Sovereign is quite high. It's currently unknown if this character has Frenzy +1 or Frenzy +2. I'm going to go ahead and assume Frenzy +2 here, mainly due to the fact that this character does inflict a stats limit, but we never see the spiritual pressure boost once. And nowadays, let's be honest, if you're a very hype character like this Toshiro, you're either given the SP boost or you're given Frenzy +2. But in addition to that, when at full stamina, this character is then going to get 40% more strong attack damage. So that's going to play quite well with the gauge that he does have, which will potentially heal him back up to full stamina. And also at the same time, it's very likely this character does have Marauder, so he's going to be useful in something like Extreme Cup and potentially Guild Quests. His strong attacks look quite solid, with his SA1 being a 3000 beam in front of him, SA2 being a lunge forward with a pretty large radius around him, very similar potentially to 7th Anniversary Uryu, and then his SA3 is just going to be a full screen attack. And thus far, just based on the gameplay, this character is definitely setting up to be one of the best technique characters in the entire game, and for any Toshiro fan out there, this is definitely going to be a must-have in my opinion. He looks quite solid, gameplay I'm down for, and I'm definitely excited to learn more about him in less than 12 hours time. And for our next character, we have Kaname. Kaname. Personally, I'm actually looking very forward to this character. It's been a very long time since Kaname has received a very powerful character, and in this case, he's setting up to be, again, one of the better heart characters in the game. Before we do talk about the gameplay, though, let's have a focus on his design. I really like the design choice they went with this character. I have no idea how to explain what this actually is. For the most part, the community is going to call this character Beyond Bankai, but unironically, at the same time, a Beyond Resurrection title wouldn't actually be far off with this character. He does appear to be very similar with someone like Shinji, for example, where the design factor was more so about their holification. And in this case, we can see him essentially in a resurrection type form. It looks really cool. It's like a hybrid of his resurrection, while at the same time he's also using his Bankai, as we can see the rings going around his hand, almost like he has no need for a blade and he can just manually use these rings to do his attacks. If you look closer at his face, we can see a resemblance of his resurrection, mainly at the top of his head, which he's kind of wearing like a hat. We have two horns, which is similar to his resurrection, and we also have the line split down the middle. So overall, I really didn't have much of an expectation when it came to Beyond Bankai Kaname, but I think they did a great job, and it's definitely got me excited for a Kaname, which is something that I never thought I'd be saying at the end of 2022. And when it comes to Kaname's Soul Bomb, it essentially sees him use his Bankai, in which it turns those rings that are all around his body into massive rings. They circle around him, do this really cool looking attack, and then it just becomes a massive beam of energy that he just uses to potentially hit anyone he wants to. It's definitely a weird Soul Bomb, and I'm not entirely too sure what it is doing, but it looks cool, and that's the main part. At the same time, it's got this really cool frame that I'm, again, definitely going to use as a thumbnail for this character showcase when he does come out in a few days' time. But when it comes to his gameplay, what we can see straight away is that he does have drain on every single attack, so he's going to have no problem staying at full stamina. Additionally, he is a heart character that doesn't have Sword per Killer. Already off to a great start. My hope here is that he does have Hollow Killer. As mentioned before in our prediction videos, that we are severely lacking a heart Hollow Killer, and I was really hoping one of these characters would be that, and we have that potential in this Beyond Bankai / Resurrection of Kaname. But when it comes to the gameplay, strong attack wise, this character is going to have a pushback SA1, a distant AoE into a tracking vortex SA2, which is basically the best strong attack 2 in the entire game, and the fact that Kaname has it is actually quite surprising. I like the visuals of this SA2, it looks really cool and it makes perfect sense. Definitely one of the better looking vortexes in the entire game, and then its SA3 is going to be a standard full screen attack. In terms of the skills, apparently Kaname's damage for his summon is on the lower side, so there's potential chance this character does have bombardment, maybe bombardment +2 if that's ever going to finally come to the game. We can see though that when he does use his SA2, he does actually have Frenzy +2, as each attack does actually hit 3 times. Additionally, we can see that this character does have Guard Break with hit hidden enemies, so unfortunately he doesn't look like he has Sharpshooter, but that's not really a deal breaker, at least to me. And lastly, and this was noticed by quite a few people on our live stream, is that the character itself is actually moving quite fast. Remember lads, there was a data mine skill that appears to be a team party buff, where it's going to increase your team's movement speed by a certain percentage, maybe 50%, who knows. But in this case, since the skill was data mined, this character appears to be moving on the faster side. It does look like he is going to be the character that is going to increase your team's movement speed. So that's going to be great for himself when it comes to autoing content, which he's kind of going to do well at, since he does have a tracking vortex and also a drain on every single attack. So I'm really liking the idea of this character, and at the same time, if you like to auto point events with like a NAD character or something, or just a heart character in general, having this Kaname in your team is going to be increasing their movement speed, getting it to the fastest we've ever seen in this entire game by using this character and also accessories to increase your movement speed. So yeah, once more, just like Toshiro, looking quite promising. Definitely can be a make or break a character when it comes to the skills here, but I think he's going to hold it quite well. Definitely be one of the better heart characters in the entire game, and hopefully is a nice addition to the heart attribute if he does have Hollow Killer. And then lastly, we have one of the most badass designs when it comes to these Safui designs, Sajin. He looks really menacing right here. What I love about this character is that, again, he's kind of fused with the Zanpakuto, and they're taking a lot of elements from the Zanpakuto spirit into this particular design. Most notably, the fire type of design this character actually does have. As we can see through his ears and also his mouth, he is basically bursting with flames here, which again is very similar to the Zanpakuto spirit Tenken himself. And at the same time, I'm really liking the reddish fur that he now has. He's looking quite muscular. I didn't think Sajin was built like that, but he is apparently. And other than that, the most notable part, he is fused with Tenken. He is becoming Tenken himself, rocking Tenken's actual armor. And the yellow robe that he does have around him, again, is more so similar to the Zanpakuto spirit itself, but I think it's quite a cool touch, and it complements his overall color design quite well in my opinion. And then lastly, the black robes that he has going all around his body, it's actually shaped up like the Zanpakuto itself, and also his hair's long now. He has like really long hair. I wasn't really expecting that, but I'm definitely down for it. And when it comes to the Soul Bomb, I really like this. It starts off with Sajin doing a massive roar, getting the anger outside of him, and then we get a well-timed transition with the flames to Sajin stepping down onto the ground, and then that's when we get the reveal that Sajin has literally become Tenken himself. He is now massive. It's a cool design. It's everything I wanted in a Beyond Bankai Sajin, and I think this is a great choice, especially in the Soul Bomb. It really makes his character feel powerful in my opinion. But when it comes to the gameplay, what we can see right from the get-go is that Sajin is going to be a speed character that appears to get some type of buff when he gets under 50% stamina. With that in mind, with the fact that he's a speed character, and with the fact that we did have a data mine skill regarding Brave Battles, it's very safe to assume here, it's almost guaranteed at this point, that this character is going to be the Brave Battle character of the banner. We were expecting the Brave Battle character to be speed, and in this case, he's exactly that. We have no idea what killer he will have. I don't think it's really going to matter that much anyway. He's going to fit into the meta quite well, and also be not so dominant, be quite counterable, because there are a lot of characters, still Yuha for example, that does have Captain Killer. So they're further pushing this Captain meta, which is great in my opinion. There's a lot of Captain counters out there, namely Oko, that's going to do just well against a particular Sajin. But other than that, what we can see that Sajin does actually have paralysis and also lacerate on every single attack. In addition to that, and this is where the character can be quite crazy in Brave Battles, is that this character does have a surrounding vortex. The reason why this is really powerful is that one of the best characters in Brave Battles right now is actually Yuha, and one of the most annoying things about Yuha is that he can inflict status ailments, namely paralysis. There's almost no character in Brave Battles right now, majority of the characters at the very least, that are immune to paralysis. But the thing with Yuha, for example, is that he can't inflict status ailments on that SA2 because it's a boost move. In Sajin's case, it's not a boost move, so it's very likely that whoever Sajin is going up against, unless he kills them very quick, he's very likely to inflict paralysis, which basically gives him a free win. And the last year or so, the meta in Brave Battles has only been no status ailments, so this is definitely going to be a game changer in my opinion, especially again with that data mine skill. It looks like this character is either going to get Fly +3 in Brave Battles or Fly +2 with a very high bruiser. And I must also say, the self-surrounding vortex does have a pretty cool design to it. Definitely all for this character designs, having like the fire type of attack that he does have. We can see multiple times throughout this entire character's gameplay is that his blade actually extends, especially in his SA1 and also his Nad String most notably. The final hit of his Nad String does have a tad bit of extra range, at least in terms of the visuals, but it's very likely this character is going to come with long reach, and at the same time, not once does this character in gameplay need to break guard. So unlike Shiki, who can't really be used in PvE content, for those that do want to use Sajin, you definitely can do that because it does appear that he has guard break, which in my opinion isn't really a bad thing. So with that said, that's basically the gameplay breakdown for the 3 new Spirits of Forever With You characters coming to the game December 31st. Again, in less than 12 hours time, we are going to get the full information regarding their skills and also the banner that will be featured along with them. Are the fillers going to be good? We'll have to find out. With that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about these characters' gameplay and design in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.